G'day guys, how you going? I didn't remind anybody about tonight's lesson. Today's been a bit crazy for us, but I'm here and we are covering lesson 4. So first of all, let me welcome you to lesson 4 of the MP program. Tonight's lesson is about liquid choices. So we're going to talk specifically about how we can use liquid choices to enhance our results from exercise, and we'll also talk about how we can eliminate some of the liquid choices that hold us back in terms of getting the body shape that we want. So we've all heard the term "you are what you eat." I'd go one step further to say that this is probably more true and correct in saying that we are what we drink. I was watching a show last night on Netflix, and it was really, it's a really funny show. I think it's called College Friends, something like that. Anyway, it's about this group of friends from college who have stayed friends, going through heaps of life drama. And last night's episode, there was the token gay guy out partying at a Polish dance club because his partner was away, and he was they're getting married, so he's preemptively chose a tuxedo that's a little bit smaller than his current body shape. And last night's episode, he was going on about how he wasn't eating all night because he wanted to fit into this tuxedo whilst drinking copious amounts of alcohol. And it was hilarious. It was a funny episode, tongue in cheek, all of that sort of stuff. But it got me thinking. It got me wondering, and it actually the thought occurred to me that a lot of people do consider what they drink as something that necessarily doesn't count as much as it does. I know there's a lot of education out there now, and people are starting to clue on the fact that alcohol and other liquid choices have calories and have energy in them. However, it's not quite totally understood just how much of an impact those liquid choices have. So we'll talk about that in the slides to come, but we're going to focus our main attention on how we can actually turn those liquid choices into better liquid choices that are going to give us the energy, the body shape, the health that we want. Now, don't get me wrong, this isn't about abstaining from alcohol completely and entirely. No, this is real life. So we're going to talk about how we can minimize its effects, but still enjoy it. I'm going to introduce to you something that's going to completely change the way you view dessert and view food in general, health food specifically. We've all seen in pop culture, the other examples of green juices and people holding their nose and chugging down, egg whites or all that sort of extreme hoo-ha. And whilst it might look good, it might be a cool conversation to have, give you a little bit of bravado to speak of, you don't have to go to those lengths. You can, in fact, enjoy your health food shakes. You just need to be a little bit smarter about what you put in them. And by the end of today's session, what you should have is a good idea of how to incorporate better liquid choices in your daily plan. So you should have the knowledge to construct complete daily meal plans by the end of this slide. Last week we touched on what makes a metabolically precise meal. Now, when I say metabolically precise meal, it's not a trademark. It's not. This is an MP meal, and it's completely different to an XYZ meal. We're not branding the meals we're eating. All we're doing is we're understanding what foods do to our bodies. And remember that food is like the information you type into a computer. It's essentially ones and zeros that tells the computer what to do. So the food that you put in your body tells your body what to do. When we're talking about a metabolically precise meal, we're talking about a meal that tells your body to burn fat and build muscle. So Likewise, a metabolically precise liquid choice is going to do the exact same thing. It's going to tell your body to build muscle and burn fat. Here's a fact about food. You've probably stumbled on it accidentally. Most people do. The simplest success strategy is to eliminate beverages that contain energy. So this is the simplest success strategy in terms of fat loss. The first thing you can do, the easiest thing you can do to shift a lot of weight fast, is to cut out the liquid beverages you're drinking. We can always tell when somebody comes in to see us when they're consuming liquid calories, because to get to a certain size, a certain body weight, it comes to a point where you have to consume so many calories. It has to come in form of an easier way. You can't eat yourself to that point. There comes a point where you reach the end of your ability to eat yourself overweight, and then you start drinking yourself even more overweight. So for somebody who has a lot of weight to lose, they could shed quite a lot of weight very, very fast by eliminating the liquid calorie containing choices in their diet. Furthermore, somebody who doesn't quite have much to lose, maybe 5 kilos to lose, will still benefit from cutting these liquid choices away or improving the nutrition in them. So it's okay to have calories in your liquid choices, but if you have not so much nutrition, it becomes nutrient sparse. If you start to add more nutrients for the same amount of calories or less, what it becomes is nutrient dense, and that's what we want. We want a nutrient dense liquid meal. So here's the thing with drinking calories. It's much easier to drink them, and I've covered this just earlier. It's much easier to drink them than it is to eat them. Try and eat 6 oranges, right? And then try and juice and drink 6 oranges. It's much easier to drink the 6 oranges. Why might you think that is? If you guessed yes, the fiber that's in them, then you'll be right. If you have to chew through and crunch and munch the fiber, it's going to take longer to eat that certain amount of food, and you're going to have more chance of that food filling you than it would if it was a juice. So here's an action step that you can take while you're watching this or afterwards. Make a list of all the different zero energy beverages you can try. Here are some examples of water. What can we do to flavor water? We can add lemon, we can add mint, we can add orange, we can add different types of fruit. You've got 101 different tea flavors these days. Just go down to T2 and you'll be amazed by what amount of flavors of teas you can come across. Coffee is another 0 calorie when it's black. You've got Coke Zero, you've got Sprite Zero these days, Solo Zero, all that sort of stuff. Obviously, we're trying to improve health, so getting as much water in as possible is the best. But if you're out and everyone else is drinking rum and Coke or Scotch and Coke, you can have a Coke Zero and feel like you're socializing without getting that calorie hit of the alcohol. If you're one that goes out and drinks a lot of alcohol multiple times in a night, then going the 1-for-1 rule, so you have 1 Coke Zero and 1 alcohol, will start to elicit a result. Okay, so if you're used to having 10 drinks every Friday night, and you cut that back to 5, you'll start to see a result in your body shape, your health, and your energy. And you can still have your 5 drinks on a Friday night. Obviously, you'll get to a point where you'll plateau, and you'll have to make the choice again on whether you want to keep those 5 or not. But that's how transformation works. It's not about abstaining completely, going from hero to zero, and being a drinking champion and then totally going the other way. It's not about that at all. It's about finding balance. It's about enjoying your lifestyle and getting the results you want. All right. So here's an MPLM. The question I'm going to pose to you is this a delicious treat or is it a health food? Now, when you try this, I'm going to bank on the fact that you think it's going to be I'm going to bank on the fact that you'll think it's tastier than any other health food you've had before. If you make these right, they can be so delicious. Just ask some of the guys who've done this before in our group. But the benefits of having MPLMs in your daily plan is, first of all, it's an easy way to eat more frequently. A lot of people struggle with eating 6 times a day. Now, I'm not saying 6 times a day is what you need to get to. Some people can get fantastic results eating twice a day. However, what we do know from science is that eating more frequently avoids the overeating in the nighttime. So if you are one that overeats at nighttime or at a certain time of day, chances are adding a liquid meal somewhere earlier in your day will help to curb that craving later on in the day. Now, MPLMs aren't meant to replace whole foods, but what they will do is increase your nutrition density, okay, like I talked about earlier. So without lots of calories, you can pack a lot of nutrition in there. Now, this isn't a weight loss shake. It's more than something you'll find in a packet. It's using whole food or real food. You'll see in the recipes in chapter 4 that that's the case. Follow the points of metabolically precise meal construction. So you still have your first class proteins, you still have your omega-3s, you still have your plant food depending on the window, so on and so forth. The only difference is you put it in a blender and you add a metabolically precise liquid or a low-calorie liquid. Some examples are water, skim milk, almond milk, rice milk, soy milk, all of those kinds of milks that are very low calorie, and so forth. So this is how they'll fit in the daily plan. They slot in between your solid meals. As you can see, here's an example. Now, this isn't something you have to follow, but it's an example of somebody who has nailed the six per day and is using the LMs to nail that 6 per day. You've got your meal 2, meal 4, and meal 6 as LMs or semi-solid meals, and then you've got your main meals 1, 3, and 5. If you're just starting out in the program, this isn't ideal. It's not your next step. Please, I really try and over accentuate this point here. If you've only been eating 2 to 3 meals a day, or even 1 to 2 meals a day, if you go from eating that amount of food to 6 per day, you will put on weight with this program. We don't want that to happen. Your meal records, if you're doing this online, okay, if you're doing this with us online and your accountability is really high and you've got your tasks coming in every week and you've got those 7-day meal records coming in, those 7-day meal records allow us to give you your next step. And there might be 10 different steps you need to take before getting to a plan that looks like this. You have to take those 10 steps before going to a plan like this, because what that does is it upregulates your metabolism and it allows for your body to get used to the sheer amount of food that you're going to start to introduce to it. If you go straight from what you're doing now to something like this without taking those steps, you'll put on weight time and time again. So we don't want that. We want to recompose your body. We want to increase your metabolism. We want to make sure that you get a result and keep the result. And by doing that, you need to take small steps. So I can't reiterate that enough. So how do you incorporate liquid meals into your workouts? It's quite simple. And by doing this, you can actually increase the potential for results quite a fair bit. But again, this stuff doesn't become really important until you're in your second or third program. In your first program, if you're completely new to supplementation, then I wouldn't touch this. It will just confuse you and it will add calories that you probably don't really need just yet. However, if you are used to taking supplements, you can use some of these tips here to refine what you're currently doing and maybe help you spend a little less at the supplement shop for a little bit more of a gain. So 6:15 workout. The window opens at 6 a.m., 15 minutes before, or thereabouts. It's not rocket science. You don't have to run to your shake if you're across the room and make sure you're down at 6 o'clock, but it's around about that. And then your window for opportunity will end around the 9 a.m. mark. At 6 a.m., we have our small serving of supplement, high quality whey protein mixed with some orange juice or water and a piece of fruit maybe. and we have the same thing afterwards. The reason we have this small serving is it produces what's called a sparing effect. So instead of breaking your muscle down, we want the body to use what's in your blood circulation. If you have this, then your body's going to use that before it breaks down your muscles during the workout. Moving on, this isn't a meal. This is a supplementation, and that's it. So it doesn't count as a metabolically precise meal. It's your pre and post workout. Moving on, meal one, you might have your MP omelette in a wrap from the MP Cook Bible, a raspberry tea as a metabolically precise drink, and an omega-3 supplement, maybe some flax oil or some fish oil. At meal two, you might incorporate an apple, cinnamon, oat, MPLM from chapter 4. Why? Because the oats is the high energy carbohydrate that you can have inside the window. Once the window's over, you revert back to outside window meals only, and there you have it. You've got tuna supreme lettuce wraps, you've got green MPLM, you've got your MP barbecue chicken, and your creamy mocha delight. Those two LMs at meal 4 and meal 6 are outside window meals. This is a 5:45 p.m. workout. It's the pre and post supplementation at 5:30 and 6:30. You've got your MP window meals there. And throughout the day leading up to your workout, you've got your outside window meals. Okay. Now, how about a shift worker? Let's say they get up at 3:30 p.m. in the afternoon. What would they eat? Well, breakfast follows you everywhere. Okay, so we've got our window. Okay, so this shift worker is getting up around the 2 p.m. mark. Sorry, they'll have one outside window meal. The window follows their workout. So instead of their window being early or late at night, it's in the middle of the day when they're working out. So they're working out at 3:30. They've got their pre and post workout at 3:15, 4:15. They've got window meals at 5 and 6, and then they have their meals and outside window meals right throughout the night. A lot of shift workers try not to eat. If you're a shift worker and you try not to eat main meals, you will snack. We've got clients who have nurses, and they tell us how eating chicken and salad is probably one of the worst things you can try and eat at that time of the night. So you need to make sure you're choosing hearty meals that make you feel warm inside. You've got your chunky beef and red wine stew, rum raisin swirl, lamb shanks, crunchy vegetables. These are things that you're going to want to eat at that time of night, and it will stop you from wanting to pick at certain foods. All right, so if you're following along on this course and you're doing the action tasks, that's great. Congratulations on staying accountable. Your week 4 tasks, we're going to start to introduce you to data recording. Okay, so this is the act of recording exactly what you eat. It doesn't have to be MP eating. Anything you put in your mouth, I want you to record it. 2 days with and 2 days without a window. There's a bit of a typo there. I'm sure you can understand that and move forwards from it. You're not going to record 3 days of MP eating. You're going to record 4 days of eating, 2 days with and 2 days without a window. So that is 2 days without exercise and 2 days with exercise. Now, by this time, the honeymoon period's over. You're starting to get a little bit harder. You might have gone backwards a touch. So this is something to reignite some of that excitement. Go through the MP Cook Bible and choose some more recipes, some recipes you haven't tried yet, and then post your favorite ones in the Facebook group. The more you try, the more variety you'll start to be introduced to, and the more likely you'll stick to this journey. If you try and stick to the same meals, you'll get bored and you'll go back to your old habits. So there you have it. That's lesson 4. Thanks for tuning in. I'll go live next week with lesson 5. So make sure you're here on Monday night. Again, ask all the questions you like. I will answer them in the comments section below. and we'll see you throughout the week. Bye.